From Neural Newscast, this is Model Behavior, AI-focused news and analysis on the models shaping our world.
Welcome to Model Behavior. This program examines how artificial intelligence systems are built, deployed, and operated in professional environments. Today is July 14th, 2026. Thatcher, today we are looking at how the landscape of large language models is shifting from singular releases toward tiered families designed for specific enterprise needs.
It is a significant shift for the industry, Nina. Earlier this week, OpenAI launched the latest iteration of its primary model family, designated as GPT-5.6. It marks a clear departure from their previous release strategies, moving toward a more segmented approach to model capabilities, cost structures, and underlying infrastructure.
That is right, Thatcher. On July 9th, OpenAI moved away from the single flagship model release cycle. Instead, they introduced the GPT-5.6 family, consisting of 3 distinct tiers named Sol, Terra, and Luna. According to reporting from the AI and Analytics Diaries, each tier represents a specific trade-off between computational capability, operational cost, and inference speed.
It's an interesting structural change, Nina, but it is worth noting that the pricing for the flagship tier remains familiar. The Sol model, which is the high-end flagship for demanding tasks, is priced at $5 per million input tokens and $30 per million output tokens. This matches the price point we saw for GPT 5.5 at its launch, suggesting OpenAI is focusing on improving performance within the same cost envelope.
Exactly, Thatcher. But the middle tier is where things get interesting for enterprise users. The Terra model is priced at $2.50 for input and $15 for output. OpenAI claims that Terra delivers performance parity with the previous flagship, GPT 5.5, but at exactly half the cost. If that holds up in independent benchmarks, it could shift the ROI calculation for companies that found previous flagship models too expensive for scale.
I want to push back a bit on that performance claim, Nina. When we look at the evaluations, particularly the Narova long context benchmarks, there is some variance. While Terra is impressive, it does not always match the reasoning depth or the logic of the older flagship in every edge case. Then you have Luna, the entry-level model. At $1 for input and $6 for output, it is built for high-volume, low-latency tasks. It is the fast option, but users must consider the reasoning trade-offs.
The trade-offs usually involve complex logic, Thatcher. But one thing OpenAI did not compromise on is the context window. All 3 models, Sol, Terra, and Luna, share the same 1.05 million token context window. This is a significant technical detail. Usually, providers trim the context window on smaller models to save compute costs, but here, the memory capability is unified across the entire family.
That is a critical point for developers, Nina. It means a RAG pipeline or a document analysis tool designed for the flagship Sol model can be swapped to the cheaper Luna model without having to restructure data chunking or prompt engineering to fit a smaller window. However, we should be careful. Just because Luna can see a million tokens does not mean its attention mechanism is as sharp as the Sol model when it comes to retrieving a specific needle in a haystack.
The system cards do show differences in how Luna handles those long context evaluations, Thatcher, but for many professional applications, like basic summarization or sentiment analysis across large datasets, the cost savings might outweigh the retrieval precision of Sol. This tiered release indicates that OpenAI is treating the AI market more like a traditional software stack, where you choose the tier based on the specific workload.
It certainly feels more like a productized approach, Nina. By offering Sol, Terra, and Luna simultaneously, they are giving engineers a clear path for optimization. You start with Sol to see what is possible, then move to Terra or Luna as you optimize for cost and speed. It moves the conversation away from whether a model is smart enough and toward which version of this model is most efficient for the specific job.
It is a strategic shift that reflects the maturing of the industry. We will be watching how these 3 tiers perform in the wild as more third-party evaluations come in over the next few weeks. I appreciate that insight, Thatcher.
Thank you for listening to Model Behavior, a Neural Newscast editorial segment. For more details on this release, you can visit mb.neuralnewscast.com. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.
This has been Model Behavior on Neural Newscast, examining the systems behind the story